All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back and we have the update for 9.0.0.5 today on Tuesday afternoon. You know how this works. I'm probably gonna come in and give my takes on some parts, but yeah, let's get into it.
Activities, the Edge of Fate fixed an issue where Relocator 2 would not be granted to some players when completing the Saturnism mission. Fixed an issue where players could become blocked from progressing the Edge of Fate campaign by acquiring strangelets while playing with other players on Fabled or Mythic World tiers. Fixed an issue where players could not complete the Dark Academia quest until after completing the Outer Steps Strangelet, despite being able to pick it up before completion. Portal, the low gravity modifier, will no longer be randomly assigned for quick play playlists or match-made fireteam ops. Fixed an issue in Encore where the mid-activity chest could reward players more than once after intentional fireteam wipes. This activity has now been re-enabled in Pinnacle Ops. Fireteam Solo Ops Master playlists now have their combatant tier modifier inform players that they need to be prepared for champions of any type. Grappler score penalty was increased to 4 red arrows alongside the gameplay changes detailed below and is now re-enabled. We'll continue to monitor its usage and adjust scoring if required. Lowered the minimum power requirement for matchmaking into expert fireteam ops. Fixed an issue where reward banners were not playing at the end of every portal activity as expected. Fixed an issue where players could soft lock themselves in the Conflux solo op by progressing too quickly.
Okay, so a lot of changes, a lot of fixes. Low gravity. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I hated that so much. Jumping into activity, especially the fire team ops, and having that on, I hated that so much. And seeing everything being lowered, like the power level for the activities, there's a lowering a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff, I mean, when it first came out was pretty hard, and like with the old activities like the raids and stuff being at the power level where they were at was kind of ridiculous because it didn't reward you for anything. So like, I don't mind them lowering some of this stuff. It's still not going to be easy. Some of the stuff is still going to be hard, but no, for me personally, my opinion, I don't mind hard stuff. Okay, so let's get into the rest of this.
Raid and Dungeon Legacy raid and dungeon activities have had their combat difficulty for normal and master modes reduced by 10 power. Base combat difficulty in the Desert Perpetual Raid has been reduced by 10 power. The Cutthroat Combat Raid feat has been reduced by 10 power, was plus 40 combatant power, is now plus 30. The requirements for the Combined Mastery Triumph have been lowered to require only 1 completion at base difficulty. Gear reward tiers will depend on the number of feats active. Instead of getting a T1 reward previously, you will get a T2 reward. Layering on additional feats will increase difficulty but also help you get to T3 rewards and beyond. Lost Sectors fixed an issue where players would spawn outside of the K1 Logistics Lost Sector on Expert or Master difficulties. Crucible fixed an issue where quitter protection was not functioning in the competitive playlist and Trials of Osiris playlists. Fixed an issue where sprinting would degrade over time in an activity and eventually stop working. This issue may still occur in some cases. We are currently investigating a more permanent fix.
Okay, so I'm a Crucible player, if you didn't know. So these fixes are nice, but I'm gonna be honest. I've been in competitive like a lot since this season started. If you didn't know, there's no more restrictions on the weapons like used to. You do your 3 competitive games, get your weapon, you're done. You do that on all 3 characters, then you're done. If you really wanted to grind for the weapon, that's all you could do. Now you can just keep playing the competitive playlist to get the weapon. Well, it's not a guaranteed job till you get to higher in the rank. But honestly, I didn't have anybody really leaving in my competitive games. Not Crucible, but Trials of Osiris, I didn't really have people leaving that either the whole time I was playing that. I think I was playing it Sunday. I was playing it Sunday night. I probably had like 2 people out of like hours and hours of playing it that just left. It was like 2 or 3, something like that. That's not that many. You know, people shouldn't be leaving at all, but it is what it is. So, well, I'm glad they getting that working now. I didn't know the penalties for it wasn't working, and the sprint issue, I'm glad they fixed that. I'm gonna be playing later today. Hopefully they did. I'm gonna find out pretty soon, but didn't know you stack up buffs in the game, but you couldn't see like the buffs, and you would die. Then when you spawned back in, it felt like you were moving like in quicksand mud, and you could fix it. Like when you die again, it would fix itself, or you could just go back to orbit. But I never went back to orbit. I just tried to deal with it, then died, and it was fixed. But hopefully they solve that issue. Let's see what they have to say about the rest of this. Okay, yo, what's up? Thank you for coming by the channel and watching the video. I appreciate it so much. I stream Monday through Friday around 5 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to come by, interact with me, we can do more stuff, more people I get in. And besides this game that I'm playing that you wanted to watch, I play all these other games right here. I like MMO, first person shooters, looter shooters, and some gacha games. I love Withering Waves, okay? But I just want to say I appreciate you coming by. If you want, leave a like. I don't say that often. Leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell for more videos, and I'm gonna shut my mouth now so you can get back to this video. Okay, peace.
Gameplay and investment armor fixed an issue where the Armor 2.0 versions of the Wishful Ignorance and Matadoxia exotics could not be masterworked. Fixed an issue where applying the ornaments of new gear incorrectly provided additional damage resistance through the new gear bonus.
Damn it, man. Oh, I guess that's over.
Weapons, exotic weapons fixed an issue causing Queen Breaker's single shot mode to not blind targets. Fixed an issue where seekers spawned by the hierarchy of needs ring were not tracking correctly. Fixed an issue where having conditional finality equipped would give other equipped weapons the ability to stun overload champions. Fixed an issue where Vex Mythoclast's rate of fire had been unintentionally reduced.
Yes, I noticed that when I was... Look, I like to play with Vex. It took me years to get the gun, so I like to play with it in PvP, PvE. And I was like, this rate of fire is low, and I was like thinking, like, did they nerf the rate of fire of this gun? It didn't. It was a bug. Good.
Weapon perks fixed an issue causing paracausal affinities damage bonus to grant no bonus damage. Reduce the effectiveness of the first 2 tiers of elemental honing on non-kinetic weapons against players. General weapon fixes. Fix an issue where not all pre-edge of fate special and heavy ammo weapons had the correct ammo generation enhancing mods present. Fixed an issue where the Adept Icarus mod couldn't be applied. Fixed an issue where adjusting mag size on rocket-assisted pulse rifles could generate ammo from nothing. Abilities: Titan throwing hammer, melee, reverted hammer bounce behavior, and pickup cooldown to the edge of fate state. Seasonal artifact fixed an issue where the tangled web artifact mod would not suspend champions. Fixed an issue where the Elemental Days artifact mod would trigger repeatedly when used against some champions. Fixed an issue where the Fever and Chill artifact mod would sometimes apply the damage bonus from Radiant to the shot which activated it. Gameplay modifiers: grapple modifier reduced passive energy gain and will now grant increasing amounts of grenade energy on defeating combatants depending on tier. Customization fixed an issue affecting the visibility of the black letter ornament set for warlocks, allowing them to be acquired again. Fixed an issue causing the Taking Flight hollow chips wings to be dimmer than intended. Vendors: a one-time offer of 200 unstable cores is available to all players due to an issue during the Edge of Fate's launch week, causing some players to lose cores. This offer can be claimed from Master Rahul. Fixed an issue where the weekly Vanguard Arms armor reward displayed: you have already claimed an armor piece from the Vanguard Armory this week, and when it had not been claimed yet, this will now correctly inform players they must reach this week's rank 7 or 12 armory requisition to claim their weekly reward. Fixed an issue where players could be blocked from focusing exotic armor that they had previously acquired. Fixed an issue where a small number of players were only receiving specific exotic armors from exotic engrams. General updated the Edge of Fate campaign skip to provide additional details on the power level of gear provided to the characters using the skip. Fixed an issue causing the buy ranks button on the rewards pass to appear when not expected. Fixed the tutorial prompt for Matterspark's charge to update with non-default key bindings for the vehicle primary fire control mapping. A call to arms bonus no longer incorrectly displays on Conqueror triumphs. Fixed an issue where some hobgoblins with banes would sometimes glow extremely brightly.
Okay, so that's it. Let's talk about the update and let's get in game and get our 200 unstable cores. Wow, 200. Oh my god, that's gonna be a lot. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, leave a like if you want to, and I'll see y'all next time. Hope you all have a good day. Peace.